So I have kept layers for quite some time, a really long time. And every time that I need a new batch of chickens to come in, I literally just buy and bring in new chicks. And I've had a lot of people ask me on the channel that why don't you just get the eggs that the chickens produce, just make sure they are fertilized, incubate and hatch them, and then you're going to have a new generation of chicks coming in to replace the birds that you have. You already do have the eggs, you just need to get males to fertilize them, and then you're going to have a replacement stock. And yeah, of course it makes sense in a lot of people's heads, but ideally that doesn't work. And I believe I've made a video on this channel about breeding in chickens, you know, what parent stock means, what the generations of chicks mean, and I'll leave a link to that video right here because it's quite detailed and technical and I won't repeat myself over here. But in this video I'm going to be talking about the technicalities and is it really possible? In our case over here, for example, as you can see in the background, I do have some layers that are actually on free range. And I have a cock right there. It's white. I can eat this thing. It's white, so it might not be very clear. But could I just cross them and produce chicks that I might be able to sell? In this setting over here, it's quite possible, but let's go into the details. So this over here is our free range farm. On the farm, it's quite dry, as you can see. We haven't had rains for some time and it's really dry. Luckily enough, we do have a dam over here. I actually haven't seen the geese since I came over. I hope they are sound and safe. For some reason I haven't identified them. Oh, they are here. Yeah, you can see the geese. Since it's really hot, they do spend quite an amount of time on the water. These are the geese that we do have. The last time they laid eggs, they laid their eggs in that area over there under that tree where you do see the chickens. Yeah, they unfortunately didn't hatch the eggs, but they are spending a lot of time on the water trying to cool themselves and, you know, just enjoy and cool from the heat because it's really hot. You can see the grass, you know, you can literally see the soil. A lot of the grass has gone away because it's really hot. This place gets really green during the wet season, but now that it's dry, it's really hot and it's wasted. Now these are our birds. These are some of the layers that we do have on free range. You're going to find all of them clustered under trees. You see, over here there's nothing. Under that tree, if I zoom in, you'll see some birds over there, just a few. There's others in a shed over there, you can see them. They're literally all clustered in sheds. There is birds over here because there's a shed over here, and there's more birds over there because again, there is a shed over there. So it's really hot. And if you take a look at these birds, these are layers, yeah? These are birds that we hatched and we just decided to, after brooding, let them move on free range. You can see one of them up here in the tree. It's probably scared of me, so it's trying to run down. And then you can see very many of them down here. And then we have a cock. This cock is a male, yeah? Of course, cocks are males, yeah? This is a cock, and this is one of our, well, I would say breeder errors. All the males from our breeders that actually become weak or they're just not fit enough to be amongst the other breeders. We can get them out and bring them down over here, yeah? And so they get to interact with our layer breeders over here. Some of them are quite grown up, some of them are still young. We provide for them feed in these feeder trays because right now it's too dry. They can barely find feed anywhere. Again, there's more trays over there where there is feed. So all their feed is provided for them. And inside here, again, we'll find more birds. Yeah. So we have more breeder birds inside here. They're not really breeders, but they are layers. Yeah. And some of them are laying eggs. Yeah. This one is a local chicken. So our layer birds are actually intertwined with the local chickens. Some of them are local chickens. You can see some eggs over here. For example, this is a layer egg. This is not a local chicken egg. This is 100% a layer egg because it is brown. You can see that it's brown, yeah? So this is a layer egg. It's not a local chicken egg. We have more of the birds right here. Yeah, these are layers now. These are adult layers. You can see them right there, yeah? So the eggs they lay would be brown eggs. They're not like white eggs like the local chickens do. This is a good one to demonstrate. So here we have 2 eggs, yeah? Or I can pick another one over here. So here we have 3 eggs, as you might clearly see. This is 100% a local chicken egg, the white one. Our local chickens, they lay smaller eggs and they're white, yeah? This is 100% a layer chicken egg, 100%. Now this I'm a bit biased, but this can't be a local chicken egg. It's browner than usual, browner than a local chicken egg should be. So it's either from a cross between a local chicken and a layer, or 100% a layer egg, but it's not a local chicken egg. So inside here we have our eggs over here. So theoretically and practically speaking, we can get chicks from these eggs. As you've already seen, yeah, we have crosses inside here, chicks that were hatched from our local chickens and our sexing errors from the breeders. And they actually do give us chicks. But in reality, those are not 100% layer chickens, because number one, they're being crossed with local chickens. And number two, even if they're being crossed with exactly the same line, the generation that you get, it's like marrying sisters, you know, a brother and a sister getting married. What they produce, well, it's a child, but you can't really refer to it as a layer because it doesn't 100% have the properties of a layer. You know, you're mixing similar genes and the results are not going to be giving you 100% efficiency. Again, I'll refer to that video that I already talked about earlier on to try and explain this. So like we said, how can you get it better? I know there is a farm I once visited quite a number of years back, maybe 3 years back, and I found this farmer. They actually had just gotten layers. People who buy layers on a commercial scale only get females because you don't need the males. It's the females that lay eggs. The males don't lay eggs, you don't need them. So this guy requested for also the males. So ideally that's brother and sister. And he was keeping them on his farm and they would give him fertilized eggs. Yeah, they were fertilized eggs because they would mount the females. You would literally see them mounting the females. But if you incubated these eggs and hatch them, you wouldn't get good quality layers. You wouldn't. These would produce less eggs. They would be smaller eggs. The quality of the chicks wouldn't be as good. So it's not something that I would second and tell people to go and do, you know, that do it this way, you'll get layers. No, certainly not. But this person wasn't using them to hatch eggs, you know. It was a farm owned by a Chinese, so they needed fertilized eggs in order to use them, I think, to make medicine. I think Chinese medicine or something like that. So that was very understandable. But on another scale, another reason why it doesn't make sense to keep chickens this way, it's because these layer chickens never get broody. Well, they get broody, but they don't really get broody. They'll get broody for maybe a week or so and they'll be done. And ideally, for you to have chicks out of these eggs, you need to make sure that the chickens sit on the eggs and they hatch the eggs. So the eggs need to be incubated. But these layer chickens never get broody. They don't sit on the chickens long enough to hatch them. So that would mean that you would need to get the eggs and take them to an incubator so that you hatch them. But how many people do you know actually do have incubators? Incubators are pricey and they require a bit of technical expertise for you to know how to look after these eggs that are produced by these chickens. So again, it's a little bit complicated and it's not something a lot of people can do because you need to make sure that you get the eggs. After you've gotten the eggs, like I personally, who does have a commercial layer farm, I can't say that these birds are going to sit on the eggs. Yeah? I need to get the eggs, take them to an incubator, and after I've taken them to an incubator and I've gotten out the chicks are not really going to be replacing my old stock because they're going to be laying less. They're going to be less efficient birds and it's certainly not worth it. So yes, that's why it's impossible, it's not logical to actually produce your own layers on your layer farm. I hope I've tried to explain myself. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, smash that notification bell. That way you never miss out on an upload. Lots of love. Bye.